Welcome back, episode 97, 100 Simple Life Truths. Oh, I gotta get this one done kind of quick. it's uh it's October 26th, it's 10:34 a.m. I got an alarm that goes off at 11 o'clock every single day. And if the alarm goes off, the video ends. So I got 26 minutes. I got 26 minutes. Starting is the hardest part. Starting is honestly the hardest part. And I agree with that. Starting this podcast was hard. It was hard and it wasn't hard at the same time, right? Starting this wasn't hard because the way I started it was I was doing it on a black screen. It was just my voice, so it was easy in that aspect, right? But coming up with the idea, the concept was kind of hard, and then I started it, and now look at us, episode 97. Um, the other series I'm working on is definitely harder than than this series, but I started it. I'm gonna work on some more of it today. I'm gonna work on a lot of it today. Actually, that's my goal, is to really work on a lot of it, get a lot of it done, and start getting ready. Start getting ready. Yeah, starting is the hardest part, but once you start, you hit. I think I should turn it to. How does light look? I need to get a haircut. I got so much stuff I gotta do in my life. Episode 97, 100 Simple Life Truths. Episode 100 will be coming out on October 31st. It may come out October 30th. It may come out October 30th because I might go to a hockey game on the 31st. I might go to a hockey game on the 31st. And yeah, we're gonna see about that. We're gonna see about that. What else do I have for you guys? I don't have anything. So let's get into it. We can use our imagination to create something we don't want. That's worrying. Worrying leads to fear, and fear leads to hesitation and paralyzing and paralyze. Then nothing gets done. Yeah, so I've said this plenty of times. Stop worrying, stop living your failures twice, because you worrying about things that may never happen. And if you worry about something that does end up happening, don't live it twice. Just deal with it. You know what I mean? Deal with it when that situation comes, not before it comes, right? Because you don't know the details, the small details, the small nuances of what it really entails, right? You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. That's a quote from Les Brown. I agree. I agree. Nothing comes from stagnation. Absolutely nothing comes from stagnation. You have to get out there, get up, and do what you got to do. In order to be great, you got to work towards it. You got to start the process and go be great. No one's ever become great by just sitting on the couch, just relaxing all day, not living their dreams or not chasing their dreams, right? You have to get to it. I'm most productive when I'm excited. I agree. And I think you guys can see it, like on the days that I'm like really, really excited about shooting this podcast or shooting this series. I get You guys can see the difference in my energy, right? My energy is way it's I'll say better. I have a more energetic, more open energy on the days that I'm really excited about the series. And like I said, some of these episodes I'm not fully excited about. Sometimes I'm not fully excited about the series because it's 100 episodes. I'm going through a roller coaster, right? I have highs, I have lows. I can have 10 straight great episodes, and then the 11th episode I'll be like, all right, I'm drained. But in order to be great, once you start, you got to continue. You can't just stop. You have to continue. You have to keep going on that path, keep going on that, I guess, adventure, so to speak, until you complete the goals that you want to complete. Simple. When I finish the track, it feels as if I've laid the final brick to a great wall or placed the last stone on a pyramid. Correct. Each one of these episodes is part of the experience. It's part of the building that I'm creating. It's part of the ecosystem. It's part of the life that I'm going to create. Each one of these episodes gets me one step closer, right? I can vibe on a track and find the energy to start working on another. True. There's been days where I didn't feel like recording, and I was like, you know what? I have to, because this is part of my future. I can't let my future down. I'll start recording. It'll feel great, and then I'll shoot 2, 3 more episodes after that. When I didn't even want to shoot one, I'll end up shooting a whole bunch more, and you know what I mean, to a point where I have to stop myself, because there's been times where I was gonna shoot like literally 10 episodes in one day, but I literally had to stop myself because I'm like, no, I wanna like kind of let it run out a little bit, because remember, my original goal was to shoot 100 episodes before the end of the year, and I started this in late July, maybe late June, late July. I can't remember the exact day when I started it, but I started this in summer. I think it's yeah, I started in July, like late July, and my goal is to shoot 100 episodes in for the rest of the year. I'm gonna have 2 extra months of extra time to just relax, and if I would have stuck to my like devices, some days I could have shot like 10 episodes, and I would have been done this by October 1st instead of the 31st. But whatever. The most productive elements come from starting. It's the hump that's the hardest to get over, but it can fuel momentum to get the job done. Correct. Once you get over that hump, you just roll straight through. You roll straight through. And sometimes once you get over the hump and you're rolling down, you can't stop. It happens. You literally can't stop. And like I said, I've had to force myself to stop. Once I start, I had to force myself to stop sometimes. But that's in that context. In other contexts, you can't stop. Once you're going for your goal, whether it be a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 1-year plan, 1 week plan, 1 day plan, you have to keep at that goal, and you got to achieve that goal, and don't veer off of it until you complete it. We all feel overwhelmed at times, correct? The best way to escape that problem is to solve it head on. Just imagine yourself slowly chipping away. Baby steps in the right direction count, and they'll add up over a pace of time. I've said that. I've said that in another episode. Baby steps are essential, and they are crucial to your journey. You have to make the baby steps. You can't just be taking leaps and bounds, because you miss the details with the big leaps. You miss the details with the bounds, with the jumps, with the grand movements, right? Sometimes you got to be meticulous. Take the small steps. Observe every detail, observe every situation, and just run through it, right? Make it happen. Um Yeah, so you need both the leaps and bounds. You need to start and continue, and you need to be sometimes slowly chip away at the problem, chip away at the goal, chip away at what it is that you're trying to achieve. Reading, if your goal is to read a book, right? Of course, you can just sit there and read the whole book in one day, like 2 hours, whatever, however long the book takes to read, right? You can sit there and read the book, run through it, right? But you may miss some small details if you take your time with it and you read every word. Because reading fast is like you're missing it, right? You're gonna get the grand scheme of things, but you're gonna miss the small details. It's kind of like when you're watching a movie. The first time you watch it, you're just watching it, right? You get what you get out of it. The second time you watch it, time kind of slows down because you know what to expect, right? You know what to expect, but then now you get to watch the smaller details. You get to enjoy the smaller details, and you may get a completely different outlook on the movie from the first time you watch it to the second time you watch it, because the details are there. They're more detailed, right? The first time you watch it, you're not worried about his red shirt that he's wearing. You're just worried about what he's saying, right? And now since you know what he's gonna say, you can start looking at the details. The sign behind him give away the story. It tells you what's gonna happen next, or his shoes or his pants. You can tell that the movie was a time traveling movie because he wore those same shoes and pants, whatever the case may be, right? Just making up random scenarios, but the context still, you got to take the context into whatever life situation you're currently going through. Patience isn't waiting. Patience is allowing for necessary time to make things happen. Correct. And I've said this literally in the last episode, that a lot of my goals, my main goal is on a time constraint, because my main goal is to graduate. And obviously the degree from the beginning, it tells you, oh, this is a 4-year degree. This is a, you know what I mean? You're going to complete this degree in 4 years. So there's nothing I can do. I can take extra classes to speed it up. I can take millions of, like I could take, there is something I can do, but it's still a time constraint, right? Each class takes a certain amount of time. So regardless of if you take more classes in a short amount of time, you're still on a time constraint. It's not something I can get up and just go achieve tomorrow. It's impossible. Some things I can go up and achieve tomorrow, other things you can't. So being patient and understanding the time constraints with what it is that you're trying to do, giving yourself the grace to let that time pass, but also work with the time, understand that the time is working with you, not against you. The more work you put in while the time is passing, the greater life is going to be. You can't just say, oh, this is going to take 4 years, I'm just going to sit around for 4 years. No, you need to work. You need to put the work in those 4 years. That's why it takes 4 years. If you're not working, you're not putting the work with it, it's gonna take 8 years. So make sure you're being patient with the time, being realistic with your goals, staying fervent on your goals, and staying true to yourself, and start running straight through. Once you start, you can run right through. It's basically what it is. The idea is to start. Don't sit there and start planning it out. And I'll tell you guys to have a calendar, have a planner, and plan out your days to the minute, plan out your days to the second. And um the main thing with that is every morning you gotta get up and you gotta start. You gotta get up and you gotta start. You gotta put one step forward, then put the next step. And then now you're walking, right? That one step don't count for nothing. It's the next 5, 10, 15 steps that propel you, right? And it's not about how fast your walk becomes a run. It's about how detailed you place your feet. You gotta put your feet in the right spot, right? Some people just walk and they just looking straight up. You're looking forward, right? But you need to also pay attention to where you're placing your feet. Because you could be walking and not necessarily realize that your feet are deviating from where you're going. And yeah, I'm chatting right now. I'm just saying whatever comes to my mind, but it makes sense. It makes sense to me. Now in the comments if you think it makes sense. If I've been off on my analogies lately, but yeah, I don't know. Right now is a moment you can utilize to move forward to the things that make you happy. Correct. Right in this second is a second that you have to change. People can change every minute. You could wake up with a new idea than you went to sleep with, and you can go to sleep with a new idea than you woke up with. Right? A new plan, a new idea, and you just have to, I guess, do it. All right? Right now is a moment for you to move closer to the things you want. Like, what is the main goal in your head right now that you want? And what is something that you can do right now to get you closer to that goal? There's something. There's always something. There's always at least one thing that we can do to propel ourselves further. Right? It can be as simple as reading a book, watching a video. You know what I mean? If you got a fitness goal, get up and do 20 push-ups. You know what I mean? It's simple. Like, it's always something you can be doing. Always something you can be doing. Your life isn't. It's your life, and you're at the wheel. Take it where you want to go. Correct. Correct. But being at the wheel is one thing, because a lot of people are at the wheel and don't have the key. You can sit there and be like, "This is my life. I'm at the wheel. I'm in control." But you let someone else hold the key. You have to have the key to start. You have to whatever your life is, whether it's a boat, a plane, a car, a bicycle, a motorcycle, whatever the case may be. You can be at that wheel, but if you don't have the key, if you don't have the willpower to turn it on and start it, it goes nowhere. No matter who's driving it, the key is literally the most important part. So get the key. You are actually the key. That's the crazy part about it. I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but when I say get the key and you be at the wheel, you're everything. You are literally everything. So Yes, get the key. Get the key. You are the key, and you are also the the driver. It's I'll get into that different episode. But remember, as you're on that path, that um your understanding your understanding is going to be painful, right? And I like to, as the quote says, you guys know the quote, your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. It is the potion by which the physician within you heals your sick self. Therefore, drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. So, something that I fully agree with, something that I've been living by, right? I've been living by the fact that I'm still learning myself, I'm still understanding myself, and learning certain things about myself, learning certain things about the world. It's painful, right? And it's things that you got to deal with. You got to come to trying to think of the word. You got to come to understand. You got to come to a you got to come to an understanding with it. Like, okay, I understand that this is what it is. I can't change it, and then you just got to go about it, right? We're all here for a reason. We just got to figure out the reason and start on the path to completing those goals. That's all I got for y'all. I hope you guys are having a good time in life, because it's not all about work, 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 rush, 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 or start, start, start. Enjoy the journey as well. Make the journey as enjoyable as it can be for you, right? And of course, some goals are not about enjoyment, right? You gotta put your head down and power through it sometimes, right? But find enjoyment in everything you do. Find enjoyment every single day, right? Enjoyment, happiness is fleeting. I understand that, but the more enjoyment we can find, the more um the more pleasant the journey is, and the journey is literally one of the best parts for me personally. And I'm always open to be wrong, right? That's another thing that you got to come into realization of some people just want to be right 1000% of the time, all the time. It's okay to be wrong, because you learn it in being wrong, right? New information, you're allowed to change your mind with new information. You're allowed to change your mind just because you want to, right? um but starting the journey is, to get back to the main point of this video, get up and do it. It sounds easy. It is easy. Just get up and do it. Get up and fail, get up and try, get up and lose, get up and win. It's simple, but as long as you're moving forward in some aspect, can't lose. That's all I got for y'all today. Hope y'all enjoy it. This is episode 97. Sheesh. 97. That's 3 more episodes left. It's amazing work. That's amazing work. I'ma holla at y'all.